Captain's log. I don't know why I didn't call these things Captain's log. When I record in my journal, I do that like, yeah, I basically at this point do it every day. I call it Captain's log. And that's for nobody. That's just for me. I don't know why I ain't really call these Captain's log. This is my digital journal, right? So I'm gonna start calling these Captain's log. All right. So Captain's log. That's what it is. Yep, that's what's gonna be. But today, I don't know. These things get harder and harder, especially when you don't pre-plan. I lost like my paper with all the plans that I had of like the topics I wanted to talk about sequentially since that first week. And yeah, so a lot this past week I gotta say, these past 3 days has been off the cuff, and it has not been easy. It has not been easy to do this. But since this is more of like a journal, I'm gonna just journal, you know what I mean? I actually met, I don't remember when it was. I think it was either Thursday or Friday. I'm on the train, and this girl gets on. She sits right across from me. So I'm like, okay. But she's like looking at me in a way, and I mean, I see it, but I don't see it, right? And you know, she's a cute girl, Latina. Actually, which is interesting, she's from El Salvador. So that was kind of dope. But yeah, she's sitting in the train, sits across from me. And the next thing you know, I hear, hey, can I ask you a question? Where'd you get your watch, right? I'm like, okay. Simple question. Can't hurt. Oh, I got it from XYZ. She's like, oh, okay, no doubt. Then she sees my clothes. So you work at so-and-so? Yeah, I do. How do you like it? It's all right, you know, it's not bad, this, that, and the third. And then she goes into a bunch of questions. So I'm like, all right. I have my headphones in. I like my music. When I'm listening to my music, like, don't bother me. But she started, you know, going on with the conversation. So I didn't really, I was just like, you know what, let me entertain it. So I took my headphones out. I was about to get off. We had like a little back and forth conversation. Then she ends the conversation with, hey, so I want to make sure, hey, she's like, not make sure. I know she said it. She said she wanted to make sure before I got off the train. She said, hey, we should trade contact information, you know, and keep in touch. Networking is always good or something like that, right? So I took it two ways. I was like, did I just get bagged? Or is this network marketing? I've never been approached by network marketing that way. But I've been involved in network marketing in some form or fashion for a long time. I just never really put in the work. But I've been around it. I know it. I understand it. I've worked for a company, a real estate company, Keller Williams, that's based its platform off of it. So I'm very privy to the idea. So when I see it, I can see it from a mile away. So I was curious. I was curious to see if I was right. So we exchanged contact information. And, you know, she sent me a text after, yada, yada, yada. And I was like, hey, this, that, and the third. Then she was like, hey, we should schedule to meet. Are you free on this day? That was Monday. So I went over there. She was like, let's link up at a coffee shop, a cafe. And then I went there. First of all, the traffic that day was insane. I think I got there like 25 minutes late. But anyway, so now we're talking. And it's pretty much, I wouldn't say an interrogation process, but it's basically an interview process. It starts off, so tell me the Chris story. I'm like, yo, that's crazy. Who's Chris? And I'm like, I wonder if she used my last name, because then how would she have known that? Anyway, uh, anyway, so we go into it. I tell her everything, yada, yada, yada. And then she's like, oh, that's crazy, blah, blah, blah. And then she goes into her story. And then, you know, we're talking back and forth. And I'm basically telling her things that, not that she wants to hear, but basically I'm going into it like this is definitely a network marketing meeting, right? Because first of all, you know, she went into the watch and she was like, hey, that watch is cool. It's something I wanted to get my boyfriend. So I kept that in the back of my mind. Okay, she got a man. So I was leaning towards the network marketing thing. So I asked her before we met up in the text, I was like, I want to be straightforward. Is this a network marketing meeting? She was like, no, it's not. Don't worry about it. So then when I met her, all the questions were geared towards getting to know me and what my mindset was. Network marketers are huge on mindset. They want a growth mindset over any others because, well, that is the mindset that I think does work. But that's what they try to teach, they try to influence, and this, that, and the third. She kept saying I have a group of people that are really well connected, that have great connections, blah, 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 blah. So by the end of the conversation, it was a network marketing meeting. It was a network marketing meeting. She gave me this book by Robert Kiyosaki, Modern Business, Master of the 21st Century. It's funny because I've read the book briefly because the last job I had, the last side gig I had was a person, one of the entrepreneurs there, he always preached about the book and he always brought it up, you know, like at least once a week when we was working there. But this is the first time I actually owned the book and was able to read it. And, you know, you can sit there and read it, or you can pull out good old ChatGPT and have it break down to you. And then any questions you have after that, you can get further a deep dive into the book. So questions I had from my old boss are just questions I was asking ChatGPT to kind of understand it. Because one of the things she wanted was for me to read the book. And on our next meeting, I think we're meeting up Friday again, was to have this thing. So I'm just curious to see where it goes. Usually these things have a startup fee. You know, usually you got to pay it 2 months. Then you don't get anybody in your circle, and then you feel like it's a scam. These things are not scams. I actually agree completely with network marketing. It's just work. Just like anything else, it's work. And I'm already trying to do something here. I don't need no distractions. I don't need anything that's going to take me away from what I already have set. And I told her that. She was like, oh, don't worry. I was like, listen, if it doesn't complement it, I'm not doing it. She's like, don't worry. You know, let's just take it one step at a time. I was like, all right. I know you're trying to hustle right now. I know you're trying to hustle. And I'm open to the idea, which is probably why you continue with it. And she's like, well, I need to see if we a good fit. I was like, girl, yo, I'm a salesman. I've been a salesman for years, being a manager of Verizon, real estate, hospitality before that, name it. I'm not saying I'm a master. I'm not saying I'm an expert, but I have years in the game. I can see when you're trying to market yourself. So she was like, well, I want to see if we're a good fit. And I was like, no, I want to see if we're a good fit because you came to me. Anyway, I think it's interesting because during our conversation, she was talking about being financially free and all this stuff. And that's what I've realized lately. A lot of people say, oh, I want to work, I want to do this, I want to provide, blah, blah, blah. But then when you really get down to the core of it, most people really do just want their freedom. That's why these network marketing things, the ones that fail, are so lucrative in the beginning, because that story of financial freedom, getting paid for other people's work. Think about it. Look at Diddy. Diddy's not a person that you want to put yourself in the same conversation at all nowadays. But just think about how he started. His career was literally based on finding somebody, providing a way for them to make music, and then collecting the publishing, and then making money off of their music for the rest of their life. As long as the music is sold or put in a song, Diddy's getting a piece of that. And then he would discard them like it was nothing. They already served their usage, and you keep it moving. He's getting paid literally to be a middleman. He's getting paid to be a middleman and assert himself between an artist's art and themselves. That is literally what he was getting paid to do. So, even with Ciroc, he was paid to be the middleman. People thought it was his, but he was really just an ambassador. And when they hear network marketing ideas, that's how they sit. Now, these things are possible. I've been to Keller Williams conferences where they create that speculative, emotion where these people go on stage and they're like, oh my God, I made X amount of money this year. I sold this many houses. Hoorah! You know what I mean? And they get the troops rallied. You're essentially drinking the Kool-Aid at that point. Because you, chances are, may not even put in the work to get to that person's level. But they dangle the cheese to make sure that you stay and continue your habits. And until you actually jump into that work, you're just gonna be another person in the crowd admiring the person on stage, right? That goes with anything. I don't care what it is. You could be a freshman in college and the senior's talking. You want to eventually get there. The only thing is, college is linear, school is linear, so you will eventually get there, right? We can go fraternities and sororities, when they have their meetings globally, I'm talking about nationwide, there's people that they congratulate within the group so that the newer members can eventually aspire to get to where the older members are, or the hardworking members, or even the honoree members they may bring in for a speech. Automatically, you're like, oh my God. Say you're Mega Sci-Fi, Shaquille O'Neal is there. Oh, wow. This place is not, you know what I mean? You're drinking the Kool-Aid. You work for a company, a plantation I like to call it. They will have the highest paid member be the spokesman. And he'll start off with something like, oh, I started off just like you guys. I was down on my luck and this, that, and the third, and I ran on this ad and I joined. X amount of years later, I was the #1 salesman. And then I did that for 3 years in a row. And then I just crushed it by starting my own team. And then I started a team. And now all the people on my team are successful and blah, 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 blah. That's a way to just rally the troops. Network marketing ain't no different. It's no different. So when you look at those things, they do work. But because majority of people that sign up for it fail because they think it's quick money. These things actually take time. Yes, will you have your outliers? Life isn't perfect. Of course you will. You're gonna have your people that get in and just know the right people, or just have the personality to be as relentless as possible. But at the end of the day, just like anything, it's gonna take work. And I'm already feeling like I'm working hard on this. So, well, not hard necessarily, but I'm definitely completely focused on this. And I'm not looking for nothing else to distract. But I just think it's interesting that when you talk to people, people all want the same thing. They want to be free. And I think other than location freedom, financial freedom, and even what I've stressing the last couple of days, mental freedom. I think if you can control your time, that's complete freedom. You control your time, you are free. Period. Because I promise you, if you don't have to worry about that phone call coming in, if you don't have to worry about that person knocking on your door, if you don't have to be reporting to a place 5 days out the week at a certain time, you got your time back. And I guarantee you're not going to have stress. Oh, Lord. All right, y'all. It's your boy, Chris Jack. Like, comment, subscribe. And if you made it this far in the video, you my friend. I appreciate it. Peace.